Hello, everyone. Let me begin with a simple question. Have you noticed that even when nothing is urgently wrong, your body still feels slightly tense? Your day is moving, work is happening, responsibilities are handled. Yet inside, something does not feel fully settled. If this feels familiar, this video is for you. I am Sri Mulugund, author of the book Stop Feeding the Future, a practical path to inner stability. In next few minutes, I want to share the core idea of this book clearly, calmly, in a way that you actually use in everyday life. Here is the heart of it. The future is not the problem. The problem is how often the mind turns possibility into a danger and trains the body to live inside that imagined danger. Most of us do not call this anxiety. We call it planning. We sometimes call it as responsibility. Sometimes we call it as ambition. But the body experiences it as strain, some sort of strain. The mind keeps leaning forward, scanning, predicting, rehearsing, and the nervous system follows. Slowly, we leave to begin with a background readiness, as though something might go wrong at any moment. This readiness becomes so common that we stop questioning it. But normally, it is not always healthy. But normal is not always healthy. Sometimes it is simply widespread. Here is something very important to understand. Your nervous system cannot tell time. It cannot clearly distinguish between a real threat happening now and a vividly imagined threat about the future. So, subconscious mind does not know what is difference between the real thing happening or the imagined one. So, when the mind creates a convincing story about what might happen, the body responds as if it is happening now. Muscles tighten, breath becomes shallow, attention narrows. You may look calm on the outside, but inside the system is braced. That is why many people feel tired without doing much physically, because the effort is happening internally, not on the calendar, but in nervous system. Now, how we quietly feed the future every day. That is how we feed the future every day. Not dramatically, not consciously, but through small, ordinary habits. A quick glance at the phone, a headline, a comparison, a meeting that is coming up, a message with a slightly urgent tone, a fear of falling behind. Every moment feels harmless, but together they create a constant occupation with tomorrow. But when the attention lives in tomorrow, life in present becomes thinner. You may finish tasks but not feel completion. Like you may think that you are doing a lot of things, but ultimately you are not completing anything. You may succeed but not feel settled. You may rest but even not fully relax. Right? People sleep for hours but they get up tired. Uh, this is the hidden cost I'm talking about. The struggle is often not the workload; it is the inner load. Here is another key realization: attention is the real currency we have. We think we are paid for time, skill, or output, but the real exchange is attention. Where it goes, how long it stays, and how often it is lost. Two people can have the same job, same tools, same schedule. One feels constantly pressurized, the other feels clear and steady. The difference is not intelligence, it is attention. The modern workplace is designed for fragmentation, notifications, quick calls, urgent messages, constant switching between the tasks. When the attention is pulled in 10 different directions, even a capable person operates below their natural intelligence. That is why people feel busy all day and still feel unsatisfied. The day becomes a sequence of reactions. Here is something vital, right? Very important. Clarity comes after calm. Clarity comes from calm, not before. Most people believe once I have clarity, I will feel that calmness, but it works other way around. A tense nervous system produces defensive thinking. In that state, mind looks for certainty just to feel safe. There is an exaggeration of risk, right? And it rushes decisions. It fills silence out of discomfort. Calm is not laziness. Calm is accuracy. Now you may ask, what is the solution? The solution is not to fight the mind. It is stop. It is to stop feeding the mind when it is spinning. This is where presence becomes practical. Presence is not something mystical or abstract. It is a professional advantage. Presence prevents reactive decisions, and presence keeps conversations clean. And again, very important, presence stops fear from becoming a strategy. Here is a very important distinction. Presence is not a practice, yet it must be practiced. Presence is natural. In fact, it is our natural state. But in today's world, obedience has become habitual. So the real practice is not perfection. The real practice is return to a true nature. If you remember this one line from this video, remember this. The return is the practice. You will drift, you will react, you will get pulled into thought. This is not failure. Returning is strength. What does returning look like in real life? So it is very important to understand. It is such an interesting thing. One breath before opening the inbox, a pause before replying to an email, feeling your feet on the floor before a meeting, softening the shoulders when you notice tension, listening fully without preparing your response. It can be even for few seconds, even relaxing your body, uh, just noticing your body. Small returns, repeated often, because your nervous system learns from what you rehearse. If you rehearse urgency or if you practice urgency, you become skilled at urgency. And if you practice bracing, you become skilled at bracing. If you rehearse returning, you become skilled at returning. And slowly, your inner posture changes. You still plan, but you do not worry. You still care, but you do not panic. You still grow, but you do not lose yourself. You stop paying interest on imagined futures. Let me share a simple example. Imagine a capable professional doing reasonably well. One evening casually scrolling, they see a post about layoffs somewhere in the world, not in their company, not even in their industry. Yet the mind connects to it as a personal fear. What if this affects me? What if I'm not ready? Nothing has changed in reality, but it is what happens. Nothing has changed in reality. It is only a thought, but the body reacts as if something already has happened. Sleep becomes lighter, focus becomes harder, small irritations feel heavier. This is how future arrives early. When it comes, we are going to face it anyway. But when it comes early, not as a fact, but as an imagination, and that is where we suffer. And the invitation of this book is gentle. Stop feeding the imagined future. The crux of the book is stop feeding the imagined future. Not by suppressing a thought, not by forcing positivity, but by withdrawing attention and returning to what is real. That is what I meant. Returning to what is real. What is real? Breath, body, this moment, this task, and life is now. Life happens only in now. And because life is only lived where you are, here is a simple way to apply this today. When stress appears, ask three questions. Is there a real problem right now, or is this a projection? Where is my attention? Here or in the imagined future? What is the one small return I can do right now? It can be one breath, one pause, one clear next action. Then move on, not perfectly, but repeatedly. Inner stability does not come from controlling life, it comes from reclaiming attention. The world will remain uncertain, work will change, technology will evolve. With the AI happening, a lot of things are changing, but you do not have to live in constant readiness. You do not need to win against the mind. You only need to stop feeding it when it is spinning. And whenever you forget, simply return. If this resonates with you, my book, Stop Feeding the Future, a practical path to inner stability, is available through Amazon. And the link is in the description. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you once again.